Hi there and welcome back to the course. Now in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install Android Studio on a Mac. Now if you have a Windows PC, then feel free to skip this lecture and go to the lecture where I show you how to install it on a PC. This lecture is specific for Mac users. Alright, so first things first, open up your browser and search for Android Studio. All right, you should find a link that says developer.android.com/studio. Click on that. And here we are. Click on the download Android Studio button. Obviously read all of these terms and conditions. I've already read them, so I'm gonna click I have read and go ahead and download. We'll wait for that to download. So once the download is finished, go ahead and click on it to open. All right, drag the Android Studio icon into your applications. That's fine, go ahead and close that. And to open, simply hit Command space and type Android Studio and hit enter. Open that. And there you go, you should have an Android Studio that is up and running. So in order to actually start creating a project, go ahead and click Start. We're going to go into all the details of what to do here, but just click Next. My application, that's fine, just for a test run. And click Finish. And now here we are, we have our Android Studio. Now, once that's finished building, we're going to look at a couple of things. All right, there we go. So we have our Android Studio installed with an application. Now, I want to show you just one thing before we actually move on to the next lecture and to our project. First, click this run or play button. And you should have here an empty screen since it's your first installation. Now I have already set up a few virtual devices, but you will probably have none of these here, okay? So don't worry, we'll just go to create new virtual device. And what we're going to do is select the kind of device we like. Android Studio comes with a bunch of different devices, but for our course, we will use a Nexus 6 I have a 6P, right? So click on Nexus 6P, click Next. And if you have any of these installed, that's fine, go ahead and use them. Otherwise, click the download button next to Oreo. Okay, I like to use Oreo 8.1. I don't really use the very last one, but you can definitely go ahead and use that. Oreo, an earlier one is Lollipop, and so on. You can even download all of them if you like. Now the reason we use this is because it's quite a new version, so it's quite modern. So it's on a lot of new high-end devices, right? I use basically two different system images. I use Oreo and I use Lollipop, and I use Lollipop just to check that my app runs on an older device. Okay, so just for backwards compatibility. But usually I have these two. All right, so once you download that, install it, the process is very straightforward. Just click next, and leave the default values. Then you will go to this, go to next and finish, and you will have your new device here, similar to my Nexus 6P API 27, which is basically an emulator that we're going to use for testing our application. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's very basic, very simple. It's the default values for Android Studio are perfect. They work just fine for our application. If you want to basically play around with it a little bit, you can go to either Android Studio Preferences, right, which set the different preferences for Android Studio. Be careful, it's very versatile, so you can change a lot of things. Or you can go, for this particular project, you can go to File, Project Structure, okay? All right, before I finish this lecture, I want to give you a quick tip, because Android Studio sometimes, it happens in different situations, but Android Studio sometimes has problems compiling and building applications. So whenever during the course of our lectures, you have any issues that don't kind of sync, or you're not getting the same result that I do in the lectures, one thing to try, first thing, before trying anything else, build, rebuild, okay? Build, rebuild. That will basically clean out the system and rebuild your project from scratch. And that, I've had this happen so many times, it's just kind of an Android Studio thing where it gets confused sometimes, right? So we have to like tell it to rebuild the whole project from scratch. So that's one quick tip for you, to whenever you get stuck, try that first. And then obviously make sure the code is exactly the same as the lectures, because it's very, very sensitive to the slightest missing key or name change or anything like that. If you mistype something, even by one letter, then it will stop working completely, right? So you will see where the crash happens, because Android Studio will kind of show you. But be very careful. So if you run into any issues, you cannot build, you cannot compile, go back in the lectures and have a look and make sure you have typed everything exactly the same. All right, so that's it for this lecture. I hope you managed to install it. You shouldn't have had any problems. It's quite easy to install. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lecture.